Hey, what's up everyone? Craig here with Weeping Willow Guitar. I'm back for the third and final part of Blue Sky, showing you the second guitar solo, Dickey Betts' guitar solo from the Eat a Peach album. Alright, this is a great solo. So, you know, Dickey was really good or is still really good at taking just a handful of notes, in this case 6, and weaving them into just an incredible melodies. You know, melody after melody, and just, you know, when you really learn the solo and you lock in, it feels really good. And it's a great solo, and I can't wait to teach it to you. Alright, so without further ado, let's grab our guitars, and hey, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and share this video. Alright, let's get going. Alright, now we're taking a look at the second guitar solo on Blue Sky from the album Eat a Peach. This is Dickey Betts' guitar solo, and again, the majority of it's based out of the 9th position, and it's the E major pentatonic scale with the added 4th or A note, and it can also be referred to as a hexatonic scale, 6 notes, hence hexatonic. And Dickey Betts, when playing over a major chord progression, he uses this hexatonic scale so much that it's really worth learning visualizing it and, you know, kind of associating with him, because that's how you really get that Dickey Betts sound. So let's start with the 9th position. We'll play 9, 12. Then we're going to play 9, 11, 12 on the 5th string. And that's the A note, the 4th. Then we have 9, 11 on the 4th and 3rd strings. Then 9, 10, 12 on the 2nd string. Then 9, 12 on the 1st string. And here's the sound we get. Alright, in the solo we'll also have this extended shape where we go 11. Let's start on the 9th fret of the 3rd string, 11th fret, then 13th, then 12, 14 on the 2nd string, and 12, 14 on the 1st string. Then we'll bend that up a whole step. So we have Alright, so really visualize that and get that under your fingers. Alright, so the solo starts with a pickup, and we slide into the 13th fret of the 3rd string, followed by 12, 14 on the 2nd string, and then we go to the E chord. This is the beginning of our progression, and we're landing on an E note, 12th fret of the 1st string, the root. So we have alright, that's our first bar. So 12th fret twice, 14th fret of the 2nd string, 12th fret of the 1st string, 14 pull off 12 on the 2nd, 13 slide down to the 11th on the 3rd string, 9th fret of the 3rd string, 11th fret of the 4th string. Alright, our second bar, we have 9, hammer on 11 on the 3rd string, 9th fret of the 2nd string, 11th fret of the 3rd string, 9th fret of the 2nd, then 10, pull off 9 on the 2nd, 11th fret of the 3rd, 9th on the 2nd, 11 pull off 9 on the 3rd. So that sounds like this. Alright, if we put those two measures together, we have Alright, now our third measure, we slide into the 13th fret of the 3rd string from the 11th fret, and then we play the 12th fret of the 2nd string, then 14th fret of the 2nd string, followed by the 13th fret of the 3rd string. Then we're going to hit the 12th fret to the 2nd and 1st string at the same time, followed by the 14th fret of the 1st string. Notice the staccato note, so we don't let it ring, we just play the note and cut it off quickly. So we have then we're going to bend that up a whole step, release, 12, 14 on the 1st string, and then the 14th fret of the 2nd string. Alright, now we land on the 12th fret of the 1st string, E. That now functions as the 5th of the A chord. Then we're going to play 14th frets of the 1st and 2nd strings respectively. So we're getting the 6th or the 13th of the A chord, followed by the major 3rd of the A chord, C sharp, back to the 5th E, which is the 12th fret of the 1st string. So we have Again, notice the staccato note on the C sharp. Then we have 14th fret of the second string, followed by 13th fret of the third string, followed by the 12th fret of the second string, 14, pull off 12 on the second string. So that whole measure sounds like this. Put those two measures together and we have Alright, moving right along to the fifth measure. We have the 12th fret of the second string, followed by the 13th fret of the third string, and then the 14th fret of the second string, 13th fret of the third, 12th fret of the second. Then we have the 13th fret of the third string again, 14th of the second, 13th of the third, 12th of the second, then 13, slide down 11th on the third string. So that measure sounds like this. And these are the types of patterns you find a lot in Dickey's playing. You know, he takes a handful of notes and just weaves these beautiful melodies out of them. Really gets a lot of mileage for the notes. Alright, now we have the 9th fret of the third string, followed by the 11th fret of the fourth, 9th of the third, and the 11th fret of the third and fourth string, followed by 9, 11, pull off 9 on the third, 11th fret of the fourth. And you can kind of hear how Dickey really locks in with the rhythm section. And when you get it down, it just feels right. Alright, so let's put those two measures together. We have Alright, now we're going to slide up to the 12th fret of the second string. Then we're going to play the 13th fret of the third, 14th fret of the second, a staccato note, 12th fret of the second, then 14th of the second, 13th of the third, 12 of the second, 13, slide down 11 on the third string, 11th fret of the fourth string. So that sounds like this. And now the 9th fret of the third string, 11th fret of the fourth, followed by the 11th fret of the third, and then 9th fret of the third. Make sure you play that F sharp, 11th fret of the third string as a staccato note. Then we have the 11th frets of the third and fourth strings, followed by 9th fret of the third string. Slide from the 11th up to the 13th of the third string, 12th fret of the second, 13th on the third. Alright, those two measures together. Alright, now we're going to play the 12th fret of the second string, then the 14th as a staccato note, 12, 14, pull off 12. Then we have the 13th fret of the third string, 14th fret of the second, 13th fret of the third, 12th fret of the second, and then 13th fret of the third. And that sounds like this. Alright, next measure we have 14th fret of the third string, followed by 13th fret of the third string as a staccato note, so we have, and then 12th fret of the second string, followed by the 14th fret of the second, 12, 14, pull off 12 on the first string, then 12th fret, 14th fret of the first string. So we have, put those two measures together. Now the next measure, we have a series of whole step bends, 14th fret of the first string. So that's 3 bends, and then kind of a pre-bend, release, 12, 14 on the first string. And then another pre-bend, release, pull off to the 12th fret of the first string, 14th fret of the first string. Then 12th fret of the first string, 14th fret of the second, 12, 14, pull off 12 on the first, 14th fret of the second, then 12, 14 on the first. So those two measures. A little slower. Alright, then the next measure, we have another series of whole step bends, 14th fret of the first string. And then that bend, release, pull off to the 12th fret. And then a slow bend, 14th up a whole step. Then kind of a pre-bend, release, pull off to 12, and then 14th fret of the first string. Then we have 12th fret of the first, 14th fret of the second, 12 of the first, 14 pull off, 12 on the second, 13th fret on the third string. Again. Alright, this next part I really think is a Dickey Betts trademark. So it sounds like this. And that can just keep going on forever, and Dickey sometimes does that in his solos. So if I just loop that, it would sound like this. And you can see where you can just go to town with that, and especially when the rhythm section would lock in with them, and he would just get that repetitive phrase going. You know, you could really just go far with just a couple notes, as I keep saying. Alright, so that little Dickey Betts trademark, as I like to call it, starts on the 14th fret of the second string, 13th fret of the third, 12, 14, pull off to 12 on the second. Then we have 13th fret of the third, 14th fret of the second, 13th fret of the third, 12th fret of the second. Then we're going to play 13, slide down to the 11th, slide back to the 13th on the third string, and then 12th fret on the second string, 13th fret on the third string, 14th fret on the second, 13th fret of the third string. So we have again a little slower. Alright, now the next measure, it's 12th fret on the second, 13 on the third, slide down to 11th, slide back up to 13th. Then we repeat that, so 12th fret of the second, 13, slide down to the 11th, back up to 13. So together that's then 12th fret of the second, 13th fret on the third, 14th fret on the second, 13th fret on the third. Then we have 12th fret on the second, 13, slide down to the 11th, back to the 13th on the third. So that second measure goes like this. And you put those two measures together and you get this. Alright, just a little bit faster and it sounds like this. Alright, next measure, we go 12th to 14th fret on the second string, 12th fret on the first string, 14th fret on the first string. Again, good syncopation here. Bend the 14th fret up a whole step, then again and release, 14, pull off 12. Next measure, we have the 14th fret, then the 14th fret sliding to the 16th fret on the first string, 16th fret again, then we play the 17th fret as a staccato note, then the 17, 17 pull off 16, 16 pull off 14. So you notice after the first measure, what I do then is I play the 14th fret of the first string with my ring finger, and then I use that same finger to slide up, 16th fret again, then I use my pinky to play the 17th fret, and then still using my pinky, I play it twice and pull off to the 16th fret where my ring finger is, and then my ring finger I pull off from the 16th to the 14th. So we have Alright, so these next couple measures, again, I think fingering is quite important. That way you're really in position to play everything and it falls naturally under your fingers, and that will help you up to full speed. So this next measure, we're playing 14th fret of the first string, followed by the 16th fret of the first string, then the 17th fret of the first string. So I play the 14th fret with my index, and then the 16th and 17th both with my ring finger. And you'll see why, because the next note, then you slide up to the 19th fret from the 17th fret, so we have, and then we play the 19th fret again, and then we bend that up a whole step. And then we pre-bend that, release it, then play 19, pull off 17 on the first string, followed by the 17th fret of the first string. Then I shift my hands down a fret, so my index finger's on the 16th fret, play 16, 16, hammer on the 17th, pull off to 16. So those two measures sound like this. Then we have 16th fret of the first string, 17th fret on the first string, but a staccato note. Then we have 17, 17 pull off 16. So these next two, it's two notes followed by a note a half step below it. So the first one's a pull off. Then we have 16, 16, slide down to 14. Then we have the 14th fret, slide down to the 12th. And the note that's a step below, we cut short, a staccato note. So we have and now 12 twice, slide down to the 9th fret. Alright, now we're in position to play this next lick, which is really cool. So we have let's start 12th fret twice on the first string, slide down to the 9th fret, then 12th fret on the second string, 9, 12, pull off 9 on the first string, then 12th fret on the first and second string, then 9, 12, pull off 9 on the first, 12th fret of the second, 12th fret of the first, 12th fret of the second. So that sounds like this. Then we have the 9th fret of the first string, 12, pull off 9, 12th fret on the first string, bend a whole step, and then release to the 12th fret. So that sounds like this. Then 9th fret of the first string, 12th fret on the second, 9th on the first, 12, pull off 9 on the second, 11th fret on the third. Then we have the 9th fret on the second string, 10, pull off 9. Then we have 10th fret on the second, 11th on the third, 9 on the second, 11, pull off 9 on the third, 11, pull off 9 on the fourth, 11th fret on the fourth, then 9 3 times on the third string, and it sounds like this. So if we put, let's start from right up here on the 16th fret, we have again. And a little faster. Alright, so this is where Dickey starts to hint at the harmony part. So he starts with 9, 11 on the 4th string, then 9, then we're going to do a quick grace note slide from the 11th to the 13th fret of the 3rd string, 12th fret on the 2nd, 14th fret on the 2nd, 12th on the 1st, 14th on the 1st, then 12th fret twice on the 1st. And again, it's a highly syncopated phrase, and it sounds like this. Then the next measure, we have 9, 11 on the 4th, and then most likely he was going for the 9th fret of the 3rd string, but we just hear a muted note. Then the 11th, slide up to the 13th fret on the 3rd string, 12, 14 on the 2nd, 12 on the 2nd. Then a grace note slide from the 13th fret of the 3rd to the 11th fret of the 3rd, then the 9th fret of the 3rd twice. So we have So the next two measures are similar to the last two. So we have 9, 11 on the 4th, 9, slide from the 11th up to the 13th, 12, 14 on the 2nd, 12, 14, 12 on the 1st. Then this next measure, we're going to play 9th fret on the 4th, 11th fret on the 5th, 9th fret on the 4th, and then slide from the 11th to the 13th on the 3rd, then 12, 14, 12 on the second string, grace note slide from the 13th to the 11th fret of the 3rd, 9th fret of the 3rd, 11th fret of the 4th. Put those two measures together. Alright, so Dickey starts to solidify the harmony part a little more, and he does that for 4 measures before Dwayne actually joins in. So we have 9, 11 on the 3rd string, 9, 10, pull off 9 on the 2nd, 11, 9 on the 3rd, 11 on the 4th. Then 9, 11, 9 on the 3rd, 11th fret of the 4th. Then 9th fret of the 3rd, 11, 9 on the 4th, 11 on the 4th. Then we have the 9th fret 3 times on the 3rd string, 11, pull off 9, then the 11th fret of the 4th string, 9th on the 3rd, a quick slide from the 11th fret up to the 13th fret on the 3rd string, 12th fret on the 2nd, now a quick slide from the 13th back down to the 11th fret on the 3rd, 9th fret on the 3rd string, 11th fret on the 4th. Alright, now the next 2 measures are actually what he plays during the harmony part. So it's 9, 11 on the 3rd string, 9, 10, pull off 9 on the 2nd, 11, 9, 11 on the 3rd, then 9, 10, pull off 9 on the 2nd, 11th fret of the 3rd, 9 on the 2nd, 11, pull off 9 on the 3rd, 11th fret on the 4th. Then on the 4th string, 9, 11, 9, 11, pull off 9 on the 3rd, 11, 9, 11 on the 4th, then 9, 11, pull off 9 on the 3rd, 11th of the 4th, 9 on the 3rd, 11, 9, pull off on the 4th, 11 on the 4th. So that second measure is. And then let's join those 2 measures together. Alright, and then the harmony part. So if you still need to get that down, check out part 1. Alright, and that wraps up part 3. So that's the entire Blue Sky from E to Peach. Alright, I hope you had as much fun as I did doing this, and I will see you next time. Alright, take care. Alright, I hope you enjoyed the solo as much as I did. I will see you next time. Alright, take care.